Hello everyone, so in this video, let us now begin with the second video of how you can make your very first post API. In the previous video, I've talked about how you can make a very simple ping, that is a GET API, to check whether your service is up or not. That is generally made to check your health of your service. That is a very simple GET API. Now in this video, we'll make a very simple again post API. In the further videos, we'll start building more better complex and the CRUD APIs as well. But in this video, let us first get a basic understanding of how you can make your very first post API. Don't worry, I'll make separate videos of what these type of methods are, get, post, put, and all of that. But in this video, we'll only focus about how you can make these APIs. So you have to first watch the previous video to get understand of the very basic syntax of how you will introduce any route, and first watch those previous videos so that you can get a good understanding of what all code means, because I've gone through each and every part. It in this video we will just enter a new route. So these are different routes which is handled by the HTTP package which I've imported here. Now these routes are introduced here like this. So whenever this route is called, because I've started the server here, so this is how the server is started on the port 8080. The server is started and this server is now hosting different routes. So as you can see, I have introduced the ping route in the previous video. You can check out that. In this video, we'll write down the welcome route, which is the post route. What you can see here is that this is the post route, which is the welcome. How we will manage that this is a post, we cannot make it a get. We'll talk about in this function. But what you can see here is that this is, first of all, understand that this is a post route. How it is different, we'll go through in the code part. But this is a post route, and this post route, as you can see, whenever hit, will call this function. So this line means that whenever I hit this route, this will call this function. So let's go inside this function call. I've written in the same file. What we have done is that every function that we introduced here, which is exposed by this HTTP handle func, which is written here, has to have two params in the same order in the, as you can see, in the parameters of this particular function. So the first is response writer, how your response of this HTTP call look like, and the request, whatever is your request for this call. So first of all, as I've told you that this is a post method. So as you can see, it is a post method. So where this information will come that this is a post, it will be coming in the request. So this request dot method, this R is exposing, as you can see, R dot method. Like you can say, we can call R dot method to check that what is the method of this particular you can say request that is coming. So if it is not a post, then you can return easily that this is not a post request. We only want and process post request. So you can throw an error and return. Okay, that is how we can manage that this should always be a post request. Now what you can do is that because it's a post request, it will be have some body. Okay, so what that body will be, so in the post request, what you can see here is that we will have a body in the form of a JSON. Okay, so JSON is a key value structure language. So you can see that we have some key and value. So what will be the key and value in this JSON? Let us first define that. So what is this welcome endpoint that we are creating? This is just to welcome a user. Okay, let's say that you are a user named Shivam. So if you enter a endpoint which is slash welcome with your name in the method body, then the response should be a greeting with your name. Okay, so what you can see here is that we have to take a message. So what we are doing is that in the request body, we are taking in a message. Okay, so what I'll also do here is let I have already written down the code. I will also show you what's the actual output so that you can also correlate what we are trying to build here. So let's say I'll first start the server as well. First start the server. I'll first show you what actually is the output, so that you can understand as well. So what you can see here is that this is the localhost 8080 slash welcome, which we are writing down. If we just, and so as you can see here is that in the body of this particular request, in the body, in the format of JSON, we have given in the JSON format a key value. So key is message and the value is code explainer. So what I have defined that this is a message with code explainer. So when I send this, as you can see in the output, it is saying welcome to the Go World code explainer. So whatever I give here, the name, let's say I give Shivam, send it. So it returns welcome to the Go World Shivam. So which means that we are having an endpoint in whichever, like in the body, I have to give a key value pair in the form of message. If I put, like, let's say MSG here, this will not return anything. It will like not take anything because this name will be only transcribed wherever there is a key of message. That message value is like inserted here. Okay, so this is a standard thing, and then this is coming from here. Okay, so that is the overall thing that we are building here. If I go into the code part, what we are trying to do here is now that we have to first take from the request. So we are passing down that message, the name in the request. So what we are trying to do here is that we have to first take that from the message itself. So we have to first define out what is the request body. Okay, so in the request, we have a message. Okay, there can be multiple key value pairs. Okay, key value, like they are multiple. So all that particular thing will be defined in a struct. Okay, so like this is just, you can say, some sort of an object. Like struct is just some sort of a combined, you can say, all of these variables you can combine to form one struct. So a declaration, so what you can see here is that this is one struct which actually defines out all the keys of the JSON you want to form. So as you can see, you'll write down the, you can say, the declaration, which is the data type, and what that particular declaration like you can say value in the JSON, because what is the key for this declaration. So this is the declaration, which is message. Okay, so what we have done is that we have created you can say a message struct here with all the keys I want as the request. So I have mentioned it here. Now what we'll do is that after we know that this is a post call, what we'll do is that we will create a variable of type message. Okay, so that it has, so now, so that whenever I'll get something from the body, I will first decode it and store that inside this variable. So what we are trying to do is that this is the, like you can say a syntax you have to learn, that from the, so you are decoding from the request body, from the r.request, you are decoding from the r.body, whatever is the body of the request, you are decoding it and storing it in the request message. So this is actually the line. If it throws error while decoding, it will throw some error. We will tell that it is an invalid JSON or like invalid payload. But if it is possible, it is like a valid body. So that in this, we'll take the body from the request and decode it, and like you can say put it all the content from the body to the variable that we have, which is having the same set of keys that is coming from the request altogether. So now after this part, after decoding the JSON from the request body, we have the complete key values inside this variable. So now what we'll do is that now we have to construct the response message. So the response is also, we are outputting in the same format. We are taking risk, like you can say, we, as we have seen that in the request also we have message and something like the key value pair, and the response also we have the same thing. So the request and the response has the same, you can say, format. If you have different format, then you have to make different structs. Okay, so these structs mean like whatever for this particular purpose, structs are used for a lot of cases, but for this purpose we are measuring out a struct as what is the actual key value pairs. So in the response also we have message, so we'll put in the same message. And as you can see in the message, what is the output? The message will be welcome to the Go world, and then we have the string which is coming out from the request body. So request body is now saved in request message, and the request message has the message. So we'll take out request message dot message to reference and get out the actual name from the request message that we have decoded from the request body. I hope you understand what we're trying to do here is, so that now we have our response body. So now what we have to do is that in the first thing, whenever the information is coming, we are decoding it to get. So decoding means like something is coming out in bytes, we are decoding it, as you can see, to get our value in the actual string format. But now when we have to again like show the message back, we have to send the response back, we have to again send it in the byte form. So we have to now marshal it. So as you can see, when we are marshalling it, it is converting it into byte form. So if you can see the data type of this, it is bytes, it's an array of bytes. So the data type of response JSON is the array of bytes. So what I am trying to do here is that now I am again converting this response message back to a bytes array, so that we can throw it back as a response, because the response is just a byte array and the request is also a byte array. So now we are decoding it to get the actual message from the bytes array, and here we are again taking that message and converting it into bytes array so that we can send again in the front end. So what you can see like for as the response. So what we have done is that we have now converted back into the byte array, and now if it is like causing any error, we'll like pause. But if it is not, then we have the actual response. So what we'll do is that we will set our response in like w.write, because w is the actual response writer. So in w.write is used to write the response, and that takes the byte array that will pass it here. We will also have some header, the status code, which you can also mention, because the content like header, this means that the content type is the JSON format, because we have in the JSON format. You can also mention this, you can enter the status code, and you can also send back the response. And if it is causing any error, you will also throw some error if you want, depending upon if like how the proper error handling is there. So that is how it might sound a little bit tedious to you at first, like what it is all about. But that is how you will be making a lot of APIs in this particular series. It's a very simple one, but don't worry, you have to go through this. It's a very standard procedure of how you can make a simple API. We'll go into more complex stuff. So don't dishearten yourself. Watch this video again and again for 2-3 times. Understand what each term. Try to write down the same code by yourself. Understand what every term means. Don't worry, I will a whole hand for you. If you have any doubts, put that in the comment box of this particular video. And that is how you have completely made your first post call as well, which is just a welcome API. So if you start that, you have seen like what is the particular output. So that is the overall thing. If you have to make the request and response in different format, you have to make 2 different structures. Don't worry, we'll go through all of that in subsequent videos as well. That is how I conclude this particular video. If you still have any doubts, you can mention on in the comment box for this particular video. I will see you in the next one. Link coding, and bye.